Good morning, guys and gals. Froggy here. This is my '02 Suburban, and I'm going to show you how to replace the front wheel speed sensors. And before I do that, I want to show you the symptom that would indicate why you need to replace them. And I'm going to simulate this because it's an intermittent problem, so I can't make the lights come on to show you exactly. But what will happen, see the ABS light there and the brake light there. Those two will come on and stay on. See, they're not going to do it now because it's an intermittent problem. But sometimes I'll be driving along and the ABS light and the brake light will be on, even though the brakes appear to be functioning correctly. Well, they are, but you don't have the ABS feature working because of the sensor. So I just wanted to show you that. This is not a hard job, but there are some big bolts that you have to remove. So it can be hard physically, but it's not hard mechanically to get it done, if you know what I mean. We're going to need to take off the front wheels, the front calipers, and the front rotors. And once you've got that done, it's not too bad from there on. So let's get to it. I do want to give a shout out to these guys. I had a look at their video before I did my video, and you can look at them both if you like. Looking at 2 or 3 videos can sometimes be a smart idea. I tend to give a little bit more detail than what most of the videos will show you. And some people like that, some people don't like that. So anyway, there you go. I'm going to jack up underneath those control arms with my floor jacks. And I've got air tools to get the lugs off of the wheels. If you don't have air tools, then you want to have the wheels down when you're breaking loose those lugs. Make sure your parking brake is on and it's in park. So that's as far as you have to get it up. You don't have to get it way up in the air. You can put jack stands underneath if you want to. I am not going to put any part of my body under the car, but jack stands are always a good idea. So these lugs are 22 millimeter, which is approximately 7/8 if you don't have millimeter tools. And this is going to get loud, so I'm just going to take them off. You can imagine what I'm doing. Maybe I'll just do one. Okay, like that. So you're going to have a look at your brake pads. Well, when you take it apart, you'll see them even better. But see, it's got a little squealer on there. The squealer will tell you when it's worn down enough to be ready for replacement. My pads are still good. If you have some dealer or service location do this for you and they tell you you need pads and you need rotors, well, you may or may not. This rotor, see there's no lip on it here. So this rotor is 100% good. That pad is about halfway worn down. So I'm not going to do pads or rotors, but you will see some other places. This is the sensor wire right here. You will see some places that'll recommend that. You know, sometimes they just want to jack up the price on the job. So it's up to you. The rotors and the pads have nothing to do with the light coming on. Okay? Let's get the caliper off. The caliper fasteners are T55 Torx, one there and one down there. And I used a breaker bar because my Torx bits are not impact bits. See, that's stainless, that's impact, but that's not an impact metal. So I just used the breaker bar, and then I'll use a ratchet to finish them off. I use a C-clamp with a large opening throat to compress the pistons that are in the caliper. You're compressing them against the hydraulic brake fluid, and that'll make it easier to lift this out. You can use a big screwdriver to kind of pry on them, pry the pistons in by prying against the brake pad if you don't have a C-clamp. Never ever let a caliper hang by the hose, because you can do damage. Damage can be on the inside of the hose, and it'll still look good on the outside. If you ever see a mechanic that's left the calipers hanging by the hoses, scream at them and then demand that the hoses get replaced at their expense, because it's a very bad thing to do. A lot of them look good on the outside, but they're broken on the inside. So I used a coat hanger to wire it up there, because it is attached on the top here. Some of them are not attached, and you can just lay it up there. Okay, now I did see that my inside, right there, my inside pad is pretty thin. So if I had some pads, I'd be replacing both of those right now. The rotor's okay, but I don't have any right now, so I am just gonna do the sensor, and then that'll do that pad on another day. Okay, you can slide the pads out. It might need a little tap on them to get them all the way out. What I am going to do is put the pad that has the most material on it on the inside, and that one on the outside, because obviously the inside wears quicker on this truck. So that way I'll put the one with more meat on it in here, and it's just a little Band-Aid safety thing until I get around to replacing them. Okay, next I have to take this bracket off. The caliper bracket's held on by 18mm bolts, one there and one up there. I repositioned the caliper up out of the way. I'm still not I'm not letting it hang by the hose. Okay, this truck has about 120,000 on it. So these are going to be hard to break loose. I might get my impact tool on them. Yeah, I think so. Okay, so I got the bottom bolt off, as I had room for my air tool. The top one I used a battery-powered impact tool. So you can also do it with hand wrenches, but it's going to be hard, trust me. Now we can pull off the rotor. It's got two little clips here, which are installed during the factory manufacture of the vehicle. So if you have these on your truck, it means the rotor's never been off since it was built. If you don't have them, it means the rotors have probably been replaced or taken off for some reason. So I'm going to get a little screwdriver and get under there, and you don't reinstall these, you just break them off. Get two of them. Now once you pull it away from the rotor, you can actually twist it off as if it was a nut. It's a little bit sharp, not too sharp, so be careful. You don't slice yourself on it. Like that, and the other one, and like I said, you just throw those away. Okay, the rotor will slide off easy, and now you have full access to that sensor that you're going to replace. So all that work was just to get to this one piece here. I'll tell you what I am probably going to do, which doesn't really matter to this video, but I'm only going to do this one side, put it together, and then I'll buy some pads, and then when I do the other side, I can do the pad at the same time, and then I can come back and do this side, and I won't have to take the bracket off again. I'll just have to take the caliper out, slide the pads in, and put it back together. So that's my plan. Okay, I'm back. I just ordered the pads off of Amazon, delivered tomorrow for $24. Really can't beat that. Otherwise, I would have had to get in one of my other vehicles, drive to an auto parts store, and that would have taken I don't know, an hour and a half. Maybe they have the part, maybe they don't have the part. It's pretty common. But now I've already purchased some new sensors. You can get them wherever you want to get them. That is correct for 02 Suburban Z71. Make sure what you order is correct for your vehicle. Now we just got to start pulling this off and putting the new one on. So that's a 5mm Allen right there. And it goes through a hole in this backing plate. It goes up here, up here, up here, up here, up there, and there's a plug up there. Just a little bit further along. So one of the nice things about ordering OEM, or AC Delco or GM OEM, is all these little standoff clips will be exactly in the right places as the original ones. And I'm gonna reach in here and show you, this is where you clip it to the rest of the wiring harness. It goes to the brain that makes the ABS work. So I'm gonna need two hands maybe to unclip that. Then I just run it back down, clip it back in where it was, put that 5mm bolt back in there, and put it all back together. So what I did is pop the hood open so I can show you actually right there is where it connects on to the rest of the wiring harness. So right here, you just pull that up. I don't know if I can do it or not. It's hard to do with one hand, but I just pull this up. Don't pull it up too hard or you'll break it. Pull that up and slide that out like that, and then slide the new one in. Make sure it clips in. Okay. This has a weather seal. It's on the other half of this connection. And I put a little bit of silicone around here to make it slide on easy and offer some extra sealing against the elements. Some guys will say don't do that, but I like to do that. It won't hurt anything. It won't interfere with the electrical connection. On another side note on this, some guys will say you can clean these up and get them working again. I do not see what there is to clean up. I don't think there's any moving parts inside here. It's an electromagnetic, I believe, device, and it senses a spinning rotor that's inside the wheel. You can barely see it, but it's like little notches, kind of like little notches. I don't see what there is to put any life back into this, so I just replace them. I would suggest you just replace them and not. For all the labor that goes into it, for all the labor that goes into it, I can't see trying to use chewing gum or baling wire to put that back to working condition. So there is a little tricky part about getting it through this hole here. And it's hard to describe, but if you see like it's jammed up one way, just kind of twist it around in a circle. You can twist this around without hurting it, and you'll eventually get it through this hole here where my finger is. And then use the 5mm and just bolt it right back up where the old one was. All right, I am not telling you what to set the torque spec for on the caliper bracket. I'm telling you what I used. I used blue Loctite and I used 140. I could not find out if that's right or wrong. I think it's in the ballpark. I'm not telling you what to use. Look it up for some trusted source. Okay? And I'm going to use, for the caliper itself, I'm going to use 40 with, I don't know if I'm going to use Loctite on that or not. Probably no. I'll take a look at the caliper slide bolts. There's no evidence of any Loctite being used on these caliper slide bolts, so I'm not going to use any. And I told you you're going to set them to 40. I'm not telling you to set them to 40. You should look it up for your vehicle. I'm just telling you what I'm using. I did wipe them clean and I'm going to lubricate them. You should do that. Okay, so I ended up on the caliper bolts at 50. If somebody thinks that's a different number, please put it down in the comments. And I can tighten them a little bit more, but they were pretty good size, so I went with 50. Okay, that is about it. I'm going to call this a wrap. I'm going to put the wheel back on, and I will do a new video when I do the brakes, actually, because I got the brake pads coming in tomorrow, and we will call this the end of doing the wheel sensor, the wheel sensors. Okay, rinse and repeat on the other side, and then tomorrow I'll shoot you a front brake job on the Suburban, 02 Suburban Z71. Okay, give me a thumbs up or a like if this helps you out. Subscribe to my channel if you want more from Froggy. Click on the bell if you want notifications. Be safe. Have fun. Froggy out. Bye-bye.